At one point, you have to credit the leaders of Kenya who came out with a very good idea that besides all the tribes they have in their country, because I believe also they had almost 54 tribes. When you look at someone who is a Luya, can communicate with someone who is a Chikuyu, and sometimes can communicate with someone who is a Maasai using a one common language, which is the Kiswahili. Because at some point, it's very difficult in other primitive areas. It's true. Some people have not gone to school and they cannot communicate in English. So, as a common language, these people can communicate using their one single language, which is the Kiswahili, besides the other mother tongue they are having, because these people are having different kind of languages. Someone from who is called a Somali, because we have Somalis in Kenya, and you can at one point you can think this is also another country, but these are Kenyans, but they share what you call a common language, which is Kiswahili, which is a very big challenge to we have to encounter this. Because when you look at in Uganda, we almost have the same number of tribes. We're having like 52 tribes in Uganda, whereby you will find a Munyankole who is speaking another language. I in Uganda are also having my own language. Someone I cannot totally communicate for someone who is coming from, let's say, Zombo. I cannot communicate with someone who is coming from Sedede district. For reason being, if this someone has not gone to school, it will be very hard for me to communicate to him. So as a mass, we have to keep on pushing the integration of the East African community first, even to a further extent, we say Africa as united as one. We have to focus on the language issue. Because currently speaking, if you go in the deep parts of, not even in deep parts of Uganda, even in the central part, many people, when you talk about Swahili, they're not interested to learn Swahili because of having what I may determine as right now as petty reason. We were saying previously we had such issues regarding to security organs and security operatives, but we have to look at a bigger picture of this. What's the main goal? What can we achieve in using a common language? It means the media of communication will be understandable. Someone who it's very easier to communicate a message to reach all corners of the country. That's why at this point I say, I credit Kenyan leaders who emphasize, because it's very difficult to find someone, let's say he's a Omoro, but he doesn't know Kiswahili. He will know his native language, which is the mother tongue, but he will of course has a message on Kiswahili. You know, that's very, very good. So we should emphasize this. As a matter of fact, if we are looking at a good prospering integration of East African community, we basically, now I'm saying especially to all Ugandans, you should focus, because if you really you research right now, the current spread of this language is only on the borders. You find someone from Nimule border is very frequent in Swahili because it's doing that kind of trade between borders. Someone from Busia, someone from Malaba will be very frequent from Kiswahili. Even someone in Katuna is using good Kiswahili. But deep inside here, it's very complicated. You go in the Western Nile, someone knows Kiswahili, but you come this side of Zimbabwe, you go to the side of Mazaka, someone doesn't know anything. The only thing he knows, if he's lucky enough, he can know here anaenda chakula. So we should focus. If you really like to move with the East integration of East Africa, we have to promote East Africa. We have to focus on the language as one of the best tools to use this kind of integration. Other than we are staying behind. We need the language in terms of trade. Other than calling for interpreters, some interpreters are very crazy people. We call someone to interpret for you, is bargaining and is adding in some, is adding some kintu kidogo because you don't know the language. You say, I need this kind of money. You say, my friend, as a matter of fact, you have to pay me first. Even you talk to the other colleague that I'm also adding my small money. In that money, you're going to give this money. Make sure after the deal, you also get me that money. So let's look at this in a big way, in a big picture. This case Prime Media Professor Francis Akalia Mago Sweta, all from Uganda, the rest of Africa, one love, peace and love. Stay blessed.